Hello and welcome back to an Everquest tier maker class tier list. And today we're going to be doing duos. So classes that are two classes you combine together, and that's your duo. I always include mercenaries, so I don't consider there's any point in the game where mercenaries don't count. That's my view, but whatever. So this is what I had for single, solo characters, right? Shadow Knight on top, Bard and stuff in the middle, whatnot. So we're going to go here and we're going to modify this to support duos, right? And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put Shaman in S tier, and we're going to bring Necro to A tier. Now, everything kind of revolves around this. So a shaman plus any other class is a or S tier combo. I'm not joking here. I'm literally, that is how strong a shaman is. A shaman plus a Shadow Knight is like the best combo you can get. You can throw a monk in there, and you eat that like a shaman plus a monk, and that is another S tier combo. And that is like from like level 1 at Queenos Hills, for all the way from Everfrost. You bring your barbarian down there, you meet your human, you're good to go until 120. Like, you start a TOP, you do a shaman and a monk, you're good to 120. You do a shaman plus a Shadow Knight, you're good to 120. Like, nothing is gonna get in your way. You get mercenaries, you add in mercenaries, right? You add in a healer mercenary, you don't have to heal in the shaman anymore, you just do damage. You add in more DPS, and your monk can probably still tank it. Like, I'm at 100 on my monk, and I'm tanking more than than my mercenary tank, and I'm doing it better than the mercenary tank too. So this is like S tier, right? So you can add like, a ranger in there, like with a shaman, it's S tier. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, and these are the, like, it's almost a joke how strong a shaman is. And that's because, a shaman has the most utility that is focused around group play, and duo is a group play, right? So but let's be a little real here. So let's take the shaman off the board, right? How do I get him off the board? Is it possible? I guess it's not possible. All right, let's just put the shaman down here in D tier. There's no duo that a wizard can do that it makes it better than a D tier anyway. Even a shaman, because you're just gonna be playing the shaman and teleporting the wizard, or having the wizard teleport him around. All right, we're gonna move the Shadow Knight down too, and the monk. Those are the absolute best you can do, no matter what. Pick a combo from any other class with a shaman, you're good to go. So let's do, actually, let's just reset this whole thing. There we go. All right, so Necromancer and Druid is a great combo. I would say this is a tier combo, maybe S tier. Necromancer's S tier, but not having some of the same functionality that a Necromancer has, that kind of holds the Druid back, and it doesn't really affect it too much, but the Druid does run out of mana really quick, so you're kind of having to deal with that. So another combo that I think is great is Necromancer and Bard. S tier, 100%. And you don't even have to do anything on the Bard. You literally just play your Bard songs, right? Get a good melody going that'll support your Necromancer. Put him, wherever you want to pull to, and just pull to him. Have a slash melody going. You don't have to do anything. If you want to do something, you can throw in your chants from the Bard, right? And do the Bard damage over time, which are the chants, on the mob while you're kiting it with it or root rotting it with the Necromancer. So that's S tier. That's a good combo there. Let's see here. Shaman. No. Well, warrior plus cleric is going to be a B tier. Now, early on in the game, if you're on a TOP, this is going to be, this is going to be probably A tier early on because warrior has better mitigation, warrior has everything, and shamans early game, they can't heal a warrior. When I played on Yellowknack, I had significant issues healing myself with my shaman all the way through Velios. I actually rolled a cleric to kind of solve that problem. So I would say it's A tier. It's not S tier, but it is close to it, definitely, because you have so many hit points on a warrior that it's crazy. And if you're a raid geared warrior, you're already S tier. If you're raid geared warrior, you bring a cleric box, you're just phenomenal. So let's see here. Another one, Beast Lord and Druid, A tier or S tier. This is a phenomenal combo. I messed around with this one a little bit when leveling the characters I added to the Moon Kitties. Yeah, it's just phenomenal. I also tried it at 120 with my 120 Beast Lord and 120 Druid, and they were doing really well. Really well. You play the you play the Druid as the box, and you play the Beast Lord as the main. You park the pet with the Druid, and you go fetch mobs with the Beast Lord, and then let the pet tank. Use a mercenary healer with a DPS mercenary to kind of help with that. And the Beast Lord pet will tank for the most part. You might have to tank as the Beast Lord, which I've done, and it works up until 120 until certain mobs. But you want to have a dedicated healer for that. Monk Druid works pretty well too. Actually really well. Monk Druid, I would say it's A tier though. It's not as good as the Shaman, and but it's still pretty good. This, I don't even slow mobs half the time, so it's just a matter of keeping them alive. And there's some really high DPS things that a Druid can do to help out with that, so that's a good one there. Let's see here, Mage and Cleric. I would say that's a B tier one. The Cleric is kind of redundant if you have mercenaries on a live server. On a TOP, phenomenal, very phenomenal. Another one you can do is a Enchanter Cleric, and this starts out S tier. Like, you start on a classic TOP, you're S tier. It's gonna drop down to B tier towards the middle of the game, around 70 to 80. But it stays relevant for a while. If you're really into charming, you might be able to get it into the A tier, but it just depends on you. Paladin and Druid. That's an A tier. That's a great combo. They really work well together. Let's see here. Ranger and what class is it? What am I looking for? Ranger and Druid is not great, but Ranger, I mean, what was that? Ranger Cleric is really good. I know a guy who did that and really good success. And so, like, early like, you're playing on TOP, right? You want something that's gonna last you the whole way, and that's a good combo for that. I would like the mitigation on the Ranger is not as great after a certain point, but early on, like in classic and stuff like that, it's great. And I think you'd be power leveling the Cleric pretty much, and the Cleric would heal you every once in a while. So you're losing on some DPS there, so it's not that great. Maybe it's actually a C tier or a B tier, but let's see here. Shadow Knight and anything else S tier. It's like it's a joke, honestly. Now, Rogue and gosh, Rogue and Cleric is great. I've seen that working very well. I would say B tier though. Berserker and any healer class or anything is good, B tier-ish. But like there's so many different combinations, right? We can't just rank them all, obviously. And you know, where we ended up with is the Shaman is the S tier and Shadow Knight is S tier. Necromancer and Druid is an A tier, right? Like you could put Beast Lord there. Wizard is terrible. I'm gonna put Rogue in C, like the C tier, right? For as a duo, right? So consider these as classes that are working with any other class. Like let's go with it like that. I would put all the others like this. Mage is A tier, obviously. Warrior. So here we go. Just throwing everybody on there. And we can think of it like this, right? If you have a bard, it's going to be a really good combo. There's going to be some, some outliers, right? Like if you combine it with any of these lower ones, the bard is going to drop down to whatever the tier of the other one. The monk is, a great from the very beginning of the game, like S tier all the way up till 120. And you could combine it with just about anything, right? You're going to want a healer for the monk, obviously. So the healing classes like a cleric and a monk, shaman and a monk, druid monk, those are going to be great. Shaman is the best. And kind of see here, right? The shaman's S tier, the druid's A tier, and then the cleric is B tier. And that would, whatever you group with this down like that, you're going to go down to B tier, right? Shadow Knight and a cleric, probably not going to go down. It's going to be more of like an A tier, because the Shadow Knight's not going to really need that much healing. It's not going to, really have that need for a cleric. That's why the shaman works really well, because they have two really high DPS dots that I like to cast when I'm boxing my shamans. Let's see here. And the shaman. Shaman brings everybody up a tier. So, like a shaman plus the berserker is going to go up to A. Shaman plus a ranger could probably almost go up to S tier. A shaman and a cleric, you're not going to get much out of that. You're going to be power leveling your cleric with your shaman, pretty much. Shaman and Beast Lord, while, you might... Early on, they have a lot of overlap. Later on, they don't. And they can really work well together. Especially with the Beast Lord having a good pet. The shaman can use that to their advantage and, do a lot of stuff. And as long as you're not just 100% relying on the mercenary to heal the Beast Lord pet, you should be good. Shaman plus enchanter, you're gonna probably looking at C tier, honestly. I don't see it being viable beyond like a classic, beyond Luckland. I would see that being very useful. Mage, it'd probably bring the mage up to S tier, and then warrior. Shaman and warrior early on, it's a painful because of the healing. But at around level 115, 120, it's really strong. I have a 120 warrior, and I'm not good at him yet. That's why I'm making a new one, just so I can get better at it. But it's a class, and it's there, and the shaman really helps out. But I found the Shadow Knight to be a better tank for what I was doing. And Paladin. It's, you know, same boat. Like, I don't have experience with 120 Paladin, but I feel like a Shaman plus a Paladin would be S tier. In that situation, you'd run 2 DPS mercs, and if you could get a third box in there, you'd probably want a Bard and then another DPS merc, right? And then just self-heal with the Paladin and heal with the Shaman, and you're going to be doing lots of damage. I don't know if it'd be more than a Shadow Knight, but, you know, we'll eventually try it out and see. I'll have all these characters at 120 sooner or later. But yeah, that's my duo listing, right? It's Shaman, Monk, Shadow Knight, and Bard. Those are like the top classes to compare with anybody else, right? You pair a Bard with a Necro, you're great. Bard with a Druid, you're great. Bard with a Beast Lord, I did that for a little while. That's great. Bard Enchanter is great. Bard Mage is great. They're all great, right? So Wizard's the only one that I don't have any experience with, so that's going to be changing soon. I will be having a Wizard, but I just don't see that it being useful. It'd be like a Druid without any utility. And the mobs have so many hit points that they're just not going to burn it down fast enough to even matter. So there we go. That's my duo tier list. Let me know what you think. How off am I? Am I close? Do you know of something that I don't? Is there a certain thing that a class can do that makes them better? Let me know. But thank you very much for watching, and have a fantastic day.